There you go. You guys see my slide?
Yep.
Yep. All right. So, uh, first property got about a month ago in Cincinnati, Ohio, and little 3-2, 1,600 square feet house on an acre land, kind of outside of the main part of town on the west side of town. And all in, we were at 36. We originally marketed this for high 50s, but based on feedback from some investors, it was an older house and needed a lot more work than we thought. So we ended up moving it for 45,000, net profit of 9.9 there. And we originally had it under contract, but our first buyer kind of went MIA. And then the listing agent with the bank actually had a buyer that from their a group of people that they know, and they brought us a buyer, and we close on this pretty soon.
Yeah, I think the end of the week here.
Yeah. So we actually bought this one on like June 18th, I think it was, and then we got a buyer lined up and closed at the end of this week here.
Yep.
Yeah, but this was a tough one. We originally thought, Paul, we'd have a bigger spread, but the house just needed a lot more work than we realized. But again, that's why we had a $25K buffer on it, basically, from a wholesale fee that we end up with just a little under 10 there.
So where were the surprises? Was it either information from the listing agent when you were buying it through the auction? Was it picture, like where like?
Just needed a lot more work than we saw from pictures and info, and even from when I had sent somebody from BPO Photo Flow over there.
Yeah.
You couldn't justify from the pictures, but people were just, all the feedback we got, it was consistent from everybody that it needed more work than they want, So we were like, all right, we knew we had a deal. It was just, we thought we were going to have an extra 10 grand margin on it.
Right.
Yeah, and 20,000 on a deal, not a 10.
The other feedback we got was the layout was goofy. Like they would have to blow out like a lot more walls, and I don't know if they were load bearing or not, because this, you can't actually tell from it, but this property is built like 1900, so it's over like 120 years old.
So did you do Craigslist, or like how did you find, like how are you marketing this initially?
Marketed the normal way we do everything. So anywhere from Craigslist to posting it on like a Bigger Pockets to Facebook Marketplace. I did a few postcard campaigns. That's actually how I got a few buyers to visit it. And then my VA cold calls, email, it gets a bunch of new leads and emails them, and I'll call them as well as follow-ups. So it's just our normal like marketing practices that we follow.
Yep.
And we, like I said earlier, we actually had one under contract right away, but he kind of went MIA after a week or two, and then we remarketed it. And that's when we got even more feedback saying that the house was less desirable, I guess, let's call it. And so we lowered our price, and then we found a buyer by lowering our price significantly. Because I think we originally marketed this, Paul, for $59.9.
Yes, that's right.
And then what was the rehab that you thought it needed, and ultimately the ARV? Like where were the numbers that you?
ARV, let me pull my notes. I think it was like 150 on this house.
Yeah, I think it was 150.
Rehab was like 40 we originally had.
Yep, when it's probably more like 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
50 to 60, just because they say the functional obsolescence stuff, sometimes that costs a bit more to get rid of.
So when you guys list that, and then, so you go 150 and 40, someone goes, looks through, they get a chance to really look at it. I mean, where do you think the ARV, where do you think, did they tell you like, hey, I think this is going to be more like 120 and 60, or like what?
I think the ARV was fine.
The ARV was fine. It was the repair estimate.
Okay.
And the other thing that scared people, it was it's an old house, so it's all boxy. There was no open concept whatsoever to the house. Yeah. And then this property actually was on septic, not public sewer. So some investors just shy away from that, especially these are city Cincinnati investors that are probably, 95% of their houses are used to probably has public sewer.
Right.
So that was the thing that scared people away. They're not used to that.
I mean, that's pretty interesting. I mean, it's 1,500 square foot on an acre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you had plenty of room for expansion.
Yeah.
But
got some weird odd. You just looking at the picture right here, right? You got that little inset area with little deck. Everything and that air conditioner does condenser.
Yeah, so I didn't know if it was a trash can.
I think it's an antique.
Well, even that window on the left is kind of quirky, down bottom right kind of.
Yeah. So it needs stuff. Obviously, it needs a bit of landscaping, all that kind of thing.
I'll pull up to see if I could find some photos.
Okay.
If we still have it.
Yeah, let's see if I have any up here too.
So if we go here. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. I got them.
Yep.
All right, so this is the front that we just saw there. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yep. This is the interior kitchen. It's like 1960s cabinetry there.
Mm-hmm.
So like from the inside of it doesn't look too terrible.
Right.
Here, you know, there's an add-on. It looks like here, how structurally sound it is, don't know.
These are all the BPO photo flow pics.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get a good amount of them.
Yeah.
You know?
We got more. I only posted like 23. I think 23, 24 is the limit on Craigslist. So, like, I guess I didn't put any of the basement ones up online. But essentially, you know, this is these are all the photos. Again, not too terrible, but, you know, from the feedback we got, it's just poor layout. And these are city investors. This one was just outside of town and still had a Cincinnati address. And just because it was on septic, scared away about, you know, a third of the investors just because they've never dealt with that probably before and didn't know what to look for.
Yep. And that the BPO photo flow cost $85.82 because I got a bunch of pictures, extra pictures on this one. So it's not too bad, kind of worthwhile to do.
And do you know what site you picked that one up from?
That was XOME.
XOME.
About a 30-day hold. 30-day hold.
30
So that's not bad, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of your typical. Yeah.
So
this one, Steve.
There we go.
Yeah.
The Ridgeway without the E.
Yeah, that's right. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, what's the ones in Northeast PA? Ridgeway is pretty rural. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1.5 bath, 2,500 square feet on an acre. This one, on the disposition side, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate, we probably had 20 some people visited just from Facebook Marketplace and didn't get one offer at that time. It was like the hottest property that never got an offer in my. I can't remember anything like that in recent time at all. I can't believe it took so long to find a buyer.
What type? Any sense of the buyers? Because I looked where that was, and it seemed maybe I'm guessing an hour and a half, couple hours from Pittsburgh, maybe.
A couple hours, I think.
Yeah. It's closer towards like Erie and Meadville area.
Yeah. I mean, so who are the buyers? Like, who are the folks who were poking at this initially? Any sense?
We were looking for local, and probably 80% of people are local. But I also marketed it as an opportunity for Airbnb because the Airbnb for nightly rent was pretty solid there.
Okay.
But
good shape, right? Like
pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Again, I could pull more photos up on this one, but ultimately we're all in at like 95, and we have a homeowner right now are under contract with. They're getting a conventional loan. They originally wanted an FHA loan, and I said I wouldn't sell it to them with an FHA. See if you could get a conventional, and they were able to.
And Mike, let's explain why, because there's a 90-day anti-flipping thing. So we can't sell this for 90 days. And it's not 90 days from the date we closed on a property. It's 90 days from the date the deed is recorded. So if we closed on, say, June 15th, but the title company was slow and didn't record till July 4th. July 4th is our start date.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where it goes. And, you know, and plus with conventional, you're not going to have as many issues pop up with things on an appraisal as you will. Appraisers that for FHA have to look at different things that conventional don't. So it's an important thing to remember that we try to sell all of them conventionally or cash or, you know, or hard money as opposed to FHA. If we know it's like a wholesale where we can do a little bit of work to it and get it done. We don't mind doing FHA then, because by the time we get it all done, set, it'll be that 90-day thing will be in place.
Yeah.
And then how about the numbers on this? I mean, it looked pretty clean overall. I can't remember how updated it was, but
yeah, I could pull up more photos just so we can walk through here. So if we go,
I think the ARV on this is probably around, if you really do this thing up, 180, 200.
I took this one down already, so you could have a display.
You think this is going to be a homeowner since they're getting a convention?
Yeah. We actually didn't market this to investors. We primarily focused as a retail buyer or someone as a vacation that maybe do Airbnb as well.
You get the log cabin style. It's a beautiful little place.
So it does need a new roof. That's what everyone said. And that was kind of holding folks back. And me and Paul were, until this buyer came along, contemplating on purchasing it and redoing the roof and then reselling it for like a 140, 150. The agent in the area said that you thought you could get with the new roof there. So obviously, you know, you get your return on investment with the new roof there. But let's just, again, not terrible shape with the property. I mean, for the most part, besides the roof and some like roof repair, move-in ready for the most part. Got some feedback that the deck needed some work, but those were like the only concerns.
Neat looking place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's near, but it's certainly out kind of, it looks like it should be out in the mountains somewhere, but it's just out.
Yeah, it's Northwest PA. It's basically, I guess, an hour or two east of Erie. So they call them like the Twin Tiers. It's like southern and northern tier, like right by the border of there of New York and PA.
Okay.
So call it like Northwest Central PA is where it's at.
Now, is that like a basement? Is that like a basement kitchen?
Where's that? Let me go back.
Couple back, right there. Yeah, that wasn't the main kitchen.
I think it was. I'll go back earlier if it was.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
It is. Yeah. It's those base grade Home Depot cabinets though.
No, you're saying, was that a second kitchen, Steve? Right?
Yeah.
It's not. It's the same one.
That was the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, looking in. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's this property, and then scheduled close on this one is I just had to bump it back. I think August 20th. So another
about
month.
A month hold, roughly, more or less, on it. A little bit more.
Yeah, Yep. Yeah, I just spoke to the buyer on Friday. They're still good, but we had to delay closing 2 weeks because their bank couldn't get done on the 7th. So we did an addendum to extend closing with them.
You guys are people who qualify, is it still like the 700 credit score kind of thing? I mean, you've seen people having challenges getting
conventional loans? Yeah. You're that. You could be 620 with an FHA. You could be a little lower conventional, so you're just going to pay a little higher rate.
Okay.
That's a good little $15,000 basic, and it wasn't even a wholesale. This is basically just a wholesale deal. Buy it, resell it.
Yep. Yeah, hold it for like
arbitrage.
Yeah, just hold it for a little bit. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right.